Record-ology.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Thank you for clicking on this video. I very much appreciate it. Okay, so I thought tonight we would try something interesting. Let's do a shootout, a turntable shootout from sort of both ends of what you I guess would call the mid-range price spectrum. So on the left-hand side, we have the $200 LP3 from Audio-Technica in white. By the way, on Amazon right now, they actually are running a special. I'll try to put a link in the description for that as well. I think you can get it for like $180. It's a little bit less, and they're refurbished, I think. And on the right, we have the $799 Audio-Technica LP7. And I'm not sure who makes these turntables. I have a hunch they're both hand pinned, but I don't have verification on that. But on the left, you've got a belt-driven automatic, and on the right, you have a belt-driven manual. So they both have different cartridges. On the LP3, we have a $34 AT91R from Audio-Technica. It is a great sounding entry-level cartridge, does a fantastic job, and it's affordable. So worst case scenario, you need to replace it. You know, you don't have to worry about breaking the bank. And on the LP7, we have the Audio-Technica VMN20EB elliptical. So this is an elliptical, whereas the 91R was conical. So you'll get to hear a couple of different comparisons here, not only in the turntables, but in the cartridge technologies as well. We will be judging the competitors today on these beautiful PreSonus Aris 4.5 Bluetooth speakers. However, I am connected hardwire, so none of that digital hocus pocus going on behind the scenes. All right, enough of that. Let's play some music. And yes, we will be using classical music, so I can play more than 3 seconds for you. And it's a good comparison of full dynamic range, so much more so than rock or pop. You're going to get that full spectrum. I've picked a pretty loud and dynamic passage for us to listen to. So without further ado, let's see what an $800 turntable sounds like in comparison to a $200 one. Here we go. Okay, and that concludes our not-so-scientific comparison of the LP3 at approximately $200 and the LP7 at approximately $800. What did I notice in the room? By the way, this is admittedly not an ideal acoustic situation. We got the speakers on the same playing surface as the turntables. I'm in a room that's got a lot of slap back, and you can notice that just in my voice. The acoustics aren't ideal. That being said, it's probably similar to what normal people listen to normal record players in. So from my perspective, and I'd be curious to hear yours, definitely comment down below. Tell me what you think. I did notice a couple of differences. I was expecting it to be pretty much identical, honestly, But when I set out to do this, I did not realize that the LP7's cartridge was elliptical. And I think that did make a difference. It did get deeper down into that groove, and I think that was represented in some brighter and sharper and more accurate high-end frequencies, and an overall more well-balanced tone. I feel like I was getting the complete spectrum, whereas the LP3 was a little bit quieter. Did you notice that? A little bit quieter. And by the way, I didn't adjust the speakers, were completely tuned flat, and the volume I did not touch from one to the other. But the LP3 was quieter, and the conical stylus rendered a good sound. And if I hadn't done it side by side, I probably wouldn't be able to tell any difference. But doing it side by side, I did notice that the sound was a little bit more muted, and I felt like it was a conical stylus, that we weren't getting that complete groove wall translated back into sound. We were missing some of the high end and maybe even low end frequencies just a little bit, at least the clarity on those frequencies. So anyway, that's my 2 cents, you guys. Both of these are great turntables. I love them both so very much. And I'm going to put links down below for the speakers and the turntables if you want to check them out. Again, there is a special going on right now on the white version of the LP3, so I'll put a link to that as well if you want to snag one at a discount. But that's going to do it for today, guys. I thought we would just check that out. Let me know your opinions, what you heard, if you heard any difference between the two. Now, it's going through a lot of compression by the time you're listening to it, so put on some headphones and go back and forth. We're going to do a shootout video between the JVC Crosley speakers and these Persona speakers. And when I do that, I'm going to do a little bit more scientific where we switch back and forth in real time during a song. But for today's video, I think this is sufficient just to give an idea. And I think it did represent the differences between these two. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Happy record hunting. We will see you tomorrow.